Hey guys, so it's me and Daisy because she wanted to stay here and she's not gonna get off or else she's gonna come back if I kick her off. So she's gonna be here in the video. So I'm gonna go and tell you guys about what was I going to talk about? Let me think about this. I forgot. Oh yes, I was gonna tell you guys about a dream I had not last night but the night before. So I'm one of those people. I forget all my dreams. I don't know why, but I seem to forget a lot of my dreams. So I do remember some, and the ones I do remember are extremely vivid, as if I was in another reality. And I have talked about some of my dreams with you guys. Just sometimes I have dreams where I think it's the past, but I'm not really sure. And then sometimes I have dreams where it's the future, which the dreams about my past I did mention about in my adoption story, so go look at that. And then the dreams about in the future are the dreams where it's when I talk about my ideas and my thoughts on understanding of the world. So I talked about how I see on how we could go and get people on their path. So that kind of stuff I have dreamed up of, whatnot, just patterns in the world. I have dreamt of all that, and that was in the future, as if I was in that reality. I'm not even kidding. Like, I literally think that. And so a lot of my ideas I have tried to implement and want to go and talk about on here. But there's this dream that I had, and this is just it has really nothing to do with the past or the future. This was more just now and just something maybe I've been thinking of. So I'm gonna go and talk about it. And I think it was when it was me trying to interpret something. So I had this dream where I was at this park with my family, and this was a park that we used to go all the time, and we were in I think my mom's car currently. So my mom was in there, she was in the driver's side, I was in the back seat, and then my oldest sister was in the passenger seat. And we were talking, and it literally felt like I was literally there. I'm not even kidding, guys. Like, I thought like it was there, because everyone looked the same, everyone sounded the same, everybody. And I could feel like the whole atmosphere. Like, I could literally call it right now and like describe every little last detail. It's crazy. And then so I didn't really pay attention about who was wearing what, though, because my husband asked me what were they wearing, and I couldn't seem to remember that. Like, it wasn't what I was focused on. I was more focused on like what people were saying. Anyway, so we were talking about pet insurance, and we were trying to figure out a pet insurance for my mom's dog in this dream. And we were suggesting throwing things out, and I didn't say any pet insurance. I don't think so, but my sister was throwing out different ones, and she mentioned this one called Propel, and it's not even real, I don't think so. But in my mind I was envisioning so like have helicopters where they have the blades doing this, and it's called a propeller. And so when you think of a helicopter, you think of a helicopter that's like saving lives, I think. And so that's kind of what I was envisioning in my brain. And so whatever, in this dream, there's a pet insurance company called it's called Propel. And she was like, yeah, why don't we do that, blah blah blah. And then right when she said that, we were discussing yes, no, blah blah blah. And then my mom was like, back in my old time, like back in her day when our age, whatnot, she was saying that you know, we wouldn't even have to consider this because it's ridiculous on how priced everything is, that, you know, you resort to pet insurance and whatnot. And other people, you know, people back then didn't do that, but now people are doing that because it's so high priced, whatnot. And I was like, oh, like, that is ridiculous. And I was telling her my experience of the whole thing with vets, whatnot. And we had to pay. So one time I was in Midland, and wait, was I in Midland? Yeah, I believe I was. And my dog had to go to the ER because she had an allergic reaction to a pill. It was like a painkiller, but she had an allergic reaction towards it. And so I had to go to the ER because it was so bad, to the point she was like, blood was coming out her butt. And I was like, what the heck is this? So I went to the ER, and it was like $1,000. It was like a little over $1,000. And I was telling her, yeah, when you go to a, you know, ER for vet, it's about $1,000, $2,000. And that's for only one day. And so she was like, well, back in that day, it was not like that. It was way less, blah, blah, blah. She didn't say the exact amount. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, that is how it is today. So anyway, when she said that and she was done, my alarm went off, and I was like, oh. And then I snapped out of it. I was in this reality, you know, in my apartment, and I was really confused because I really thought I was in the car talking about pet insurance, and no, I'm not. And so I was like, what the heck? And so I was thinking about it, and I was like, like, so back in that, which I kind of figured back then that back in that time things were way lower in cost than now. And I was talking to my husband about it, and I was like, you know, I've been thinking a lot about this, that just your basic needs and like basic like health things for a dog, for a human, for just like your basic needs in general, food, stuff like that, it keeps going up and up and up in price every single year. And then when, you know, as the time goes by, your $1 doesn't really matter. $5 doesn't matter. $10 doesn't matter. $20 doesn't matter. And so it's very frustrating that as the year goes by, it doesn't matter. So right now, you know, an ER visit for a dog, you know, right now it's about $1,000, $2,000, while at one point it's maybe going to be $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And it's just gotten to the point, it's ridiculous. And also, if you go and look at like pet insurance, at least from what I have seen, I don't think it covers any ER visits. It doesn't. It covers like if you take your pet to get testing done, or to just in general checkup, but they don't cover anything whatsoever when it comes to an ER visit. And it's just like really messed up, the situation. And we, you know, my husband and I, we had to take her for a checkup or whatnot. She was having a which I did a video of this actually. I think it was a shorts actually, and saying we went to the vet, and I remember she had like a skin condition, which isn't her fault. I'm not upset over it. It is what it is. It's genetic. And so we were like discussing over it and like the things that she needs, blah blah blah. And they were saying, oh, like, this is the price. And I was kind of getting stressed, and so was he getting stressed, and we're like, that's a lot. And they're like, oh, I know you guys are on a budget, blah blah blah. And then, you know what they did? They went and like added extra charges too. Like, they knew that we were looking at, I don't think we said anything in front of them, but we were looking at each other like, you know, like a little bit on the stress side, and they went and added like $150 to $200 extra. And I'm just like you knew that like we were, you know, on a budget, and then like you went and added extra more, and it was just like, it was making me really frustrated with the situation. And so we were looking at each other really stressed out, and we had to like split the cost. And it's just so frustrating, you know. And so maybe that's why I was dreaming of this, because I've been thinking a lot about this and the stresses of it. And you know, I guess a lot of people can go and say, well, don't have a pet, you know, because there's an added charge. I'm like, yeah, there's truth to that, but you want a pet because you want companionship, and a dog gives nothing but love to you. And so that's kind of what you want. Like, technically you don't need an animal, technically, but it is just nice to have an animal beside you in life. And so I think maybe that's why I was dreaming, because I've been thinking about that. And it is very frustrating in my mind when it's just such a basic need, like pet health, or, you know, human health, whatnot, that pertains to human health, food and health insurance, blah, 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 which I've already discussed about health insurance. And it is very frustrating that each year it goes up and up and up. And I mean, if the people that what you would consider higher up people, top of the food chain, you know, if they could, they would be charging $1 million a month if they could do it. I mean, people probably wouldn't do it, but if they could, they would. And it is very frustrating where it just keeps going up and up. And you know, I was saying to my husband, I mean, a lot of just basic basic health things, it just keeps going up and up and up. And it's just, is there ever going to be cut off? And is it so to get to the point where more and more people can't afford it? And so at that point, it's kind of Darwinism on who gets what kind of deal. And it is a little bit on the frustrating side to just see that, and you're doing everything possible to go and, you know, make more and more and more. And if they keep raising it up and up, just like basic things, just health in general, then it's just this never-ending cycle. And we were thinking, like, does that mean we need to pick up more hours? That means more time out of our days and stuff like that. And you know, it is a very, very frustrating situation. And we went and, you know, he's picked up more hours. And you know, he's been working 15-hour work days. And it is very frustrating that you know, you have to make more, and then you have to take more time out of your day and whatnot. And I'm trying to, you know, go and figure out, okay, the ratio of how much that I need right now on, you know, putting more hours into work, and then, you know, trying to figure out on the passive income. But it takes time to get that. So it is a very hard thing to balance, I suppose. And yeah, I've been just thinking a lot on, you know, the more that they keep raising just basic health things that you need, and it just, you know, it's just gonna go up and up and up and up and up, and to the point it's never ending. And if they could charge, you know, going to the grocery store, and you're, you know, it's already at the point people are spending what, $300, $400, $500, $600, $800. I've heard people spending $1,000, you know, per week. And it's just very frustrating. And people would, you know, back in that old time period, they'd be like, oh, that never would happen, blah, blah, blah. Well, look at it, what it is right now. You know, we're looking at that now. And it's just that I don't think people are seeing it. People are seeing just basic things keep going up and up. And if they could, they would make groceries being what, $5,000 every time showing up just for a few items if they could. And it is very frustrating, and people have to eat, whatnot, and it is a very frustrating situation. And trying to figure out that balance to figure out the more time that you put in work, the more you make. But if the basic thing go up and up and up, then the more time that you put in, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. So I don't know. I've been thinking a lot, like, would it be easier just to forget it and just give up and just go and in China, I've heard that a lot of people are just quitting everything because they just given up, because it's so high, the price of just to exist in this world. And the amount that you make, it doesn't even equate. It doesn't even matter. Like, it doesn't even matter on if you work 50 hours and then you still can't afford to live just to exist in this world. It's like, there's no point. And so, yeah, it's just very frustrating, the whole situation. But yeah, I just been thinking a lot about like how just a basic thing such as an animal vet bill or emergency bill, it's just so much, whatnot. Maybe it's just me that thinks that it's just so much. I don't really know, but I think that $1,000, a little over $1,000 for one visit at the at the emergency room for your pet, it just seems so absurd to me. And it is what it is. I have to go and pay up for it because I don't want my dog to die. And it's not her fault that she had an allergic reaction to this pill. It is what it is. But yeah, it is very frustrating, and this is the reality we are in. And I am hoping to go and figure out a solution to not have to work more and more and more hours, because which I have discussed before, where I used to put in 15 hours a day just working my butt off, and then at the end I didn't really have anything left over for any extra or for emergencies. And so it just starts over. It's this whole cycle. And I've learned to, when COVID began, it really and taught me, like, my one job does not really matter. Like, honestly, nobody cares. And so, you can't just rely on that. So, since then, I've done multiple other avenues, doing multiple things. But I've done a lot of different side hustles, and went and did whatever I could and put in the hours in the side hustles. And yeah, it was more than my original 9 to 5 at in 2020. But yeah, it helped a bit. But then once things kept going and the higher amount that I was making, it really didn't matter. It really did not. And then I went and tried to do things that were more on the passive income, but it is extremely difficult. A lot more stress load, whatnot. I think my thing is for side hustles. I just prefer it. It just works better for me than doing a whole business, because it is high stress, doing everything. There's a whole other things that you're doing, and it's even more work, whatnot. It is a lot of high stress. But yeah, it is something that I've been thinking a lot on. The whole, just such a basic thing is pet health, whatnot, and just wanting to be healthy in general. And it just goes up and up and up and up, and it's just never ending, and you're trying to make more constantly. And like, people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars have been saying, it's just almost impossible to keep up and whatnot. And that's hundreds of thousands of dollars is a lot, I think. I mean, I don't know for other people, maybe it's, you know, not that much, but it is quite a bit in my opinion, whatnot. But I mean, that is why I've been thinking a lot on, and maybe why I dreamed of it, because it's just such a simple thing, is you want your pet to be healthy. And I mean, there should be no regret of having an animal that loves you and wants companionship like that. Like, you should be allowed to have that without, you know, feeling such burdens, whatnot, to just have your pet healthy. That's what most people are asking for, is to just have their pet healthy. And I just remember there was this one time where I was student teaching, and there's this teacher saying how her dog got bit by a snake. It was a poisonous snake, and they had to take the dog immediately to the ER. And it isn't anyone's fault, because normally this backyard does not have snakes, but it just so happened to have a snake there. And the snake went and attacked the dog when it was just sniffing around. And it's nobody's fault on this scenario. And she takes the dog, and it was thousands. I think it was like $2,000 or more to have her dog treated. Like, you know, and it's just ridiculous. Like, you want your pet to be healthy and whatnot, and she knew she was gonna go in debt for it. And it's just, that's so messed up. Like, you should be able to have your animal be healthy, like, and not feel like it's such a burden and feel so much stress and this feeling of your shoulders being so heavy, whatnot, just to have your pet healthy, and you want to be healthy and whatnot. It's just I don't know if it's just me that feels this way, but I mean, all I'm asking is for a healthy pet and me to be healthy and the people I care about healthy. I'm not asking for, like, you know, such a huge amount, I don't think. And I don't know if other people are seeing how it is so messed up, where each single year it goes up and up and up for such a basic thing, you know, just health. I mean, everyone has that right to be healthy, I think. Like, right when you're born, you should have that right to be healthy, and it not being taken away from you, whatnot, because the top of the food chain beings are, you know, taking advantage, whatnot. I mean, that's just how I'm thinking, and I guess that's why I dreamed it. But I honestly thought I literally was there, and just, I was, you know, in that situation and whatnot. And yeah, it was so real. I was just really amazed. But yeah, I had really good sleep and all that. And I remember when I was going to work, and I was like, am I just feeding into this whole system and whatnot? But, you know, I still need to go and, well, I don't need, I guess, but I would like, you know, to be able to buy food and whatnot. I mean, technically speaking, I could just go to, I guess, like a public trash can and go through it, I suppose. Technically speaking, I could. But, I mean, I would like to be able to buy food and then make whatever I want, it, you know, and it being fresh. Like, I would like that. I mean, that is a want. I don't have to do that, but that is one. And I don't think that's that much to ask for. I personally don't think so. But yeah, just let me know, guys, what you guys think and all that. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I'm just asking for, you know, a healthy animal, and, you know, people around me to be healthy. That's all. That's not much to ask for, I don't think.